Welcome back, welcome back. The 1978 film Grease is one of the most successful musicals of all time. One of the stars, alongside Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, was Stockard Channing, who played Betty Rizzo, the leader of the Pink Ladies. Since then, Stockard hasn't looked back, and she's currently starring on Broadway in the Rodgers and Hart stage musical, Pal Joey. I met up with her in New York, and I asked her if her landmark roles, Grease, 6 Degrees of Separation, and The West Wing, where she played America's First Lady, of course, were they necessarily her favourites?
Well, I think 6 Degrees definitely is. The thing about 6 Degrees of Separation was, first of all, I was working with one of my closest friends, John Guare, and it was this tiny little project in an off-Broadway situation at the Mitzi Newhouse Lincoln Center. Literally supposed to run 8 weeks max. We got in there, and from the first time we were in front of an audience, something extraordinary happened. And a friend of mine said that John had done an hour and a half, what Bonfire and Vanities did in 1,000 pages. And then it grew, it went into Broadway, and it became a movie, went to London and won the Olivia Award. It was 4 years of my life, but I was also, not only it was long and great and terrific, but I had a wonderful time doing it, taught me a lot, and I was working with people I became extremely close to in my life. So it was extraordinary.
Oh, that was a fantastic experience because, I mean, you started off very bravely. I mean, you're in the sense of your parents' attitude or your mother's attitude right. to drama and acting and being an actress and so on, because she was reads as though she was the reverse of a stage mother.
Yes, I say that was true. She actually had this phrase, she was saying, never put yourself forward. My mother was Irish, and she wasn't born in Ireland, she was first generation. And she had a complete thing, like, you know, you have to be rigid and you have to behave yourself and sit a certain way. And the last thing you do was get out there and sing out Louise. There was no singing out Louise for my mother, which I totally understand.
Yeah, but she wanted you to be a socialite.
Exactly. She wanted me to be married well and raise children, which is a perfectly responsible thing to do. But instead, I ran off and joined the circus, in effect. So.
And was, in fact, Grease, to your surprise, in a way, everyone seems to be surprised how it has a great reputation today, perhaps greater than then. But was it, that was a breakthrough, was it?
Well, I was surprised because at the time it was not received well by critics. People loved it. When I remember going to screenings of it, and early on, you know, press screenings around the country, and people were going crazy, they loved it so much. But when it was reviewed, critics really sort of thumbed their noses at it. The sort of posh community in Hollywood sort of thumbed its communal noses at it. But I found it, first of all, it was incredibly well made. You had the same cinematographer you had who made Jaws. They took their time with it. It ran for like 16 weeks. A very rich-looking production, and everybody was terrific in it. And Alan had
new songs, weren't there?
The new songs were written for it, and it really holds up. But its common appeal is fantastic, and obviously its success is really based on technology we have now and the DVDs and everything like that. But at the time, I can't say that it really helped my career, and it was sort of a sidebar for what I wanted to do with my life. So it was sort of odd that this thing I had done in one summer was sort of haunting me for many years. But now I sort of embrace it. Yes. I think it's sort of wonderful. Yeah. I've gone through many. I've had a very complex relationship with the film, but now I'm pretty proud of it.
I remember doing a charity show at the United Nations, and one of the people taking part was Olivia Newton-John. And there were two of the guards from watching what was going on, and one said to the other, "Look, there's Olivia Newton-John from Greece," and the other one said, "No, from Australia." So it didn't help the career immediately, but in retrospect it has.
You know, it really didn't help at all. I had to sort of overcome it. That led me into doing my television series and this and the other. It took a while to overcome it. I really went back to the theater and sort of started again. Actually, I did a production of Joe Egg, which really kind of turned things around for me, and I sort of got back on track.
And you have to pinch yourself sometimes when you wake up in the morning, whether you're on Broadway or in Hollywood. Yes?
Yes.
What's been the most memorable things that have happened to you in Hollywood?
Well, I think The Fortune, which Mike Nichols directed, and he really discovered me. A year before, I'd done a television film that Joan Rivers actually wrote called The Girl Most Likely To, which helped, but really Mike discovered me, and the fortune, that sort of launched me, I would say.
Are they equally interesting to do?
Well, I suppose it's the human condition. You always wish you were doing the other one. You complain about the one you're doing.
Yes.
Oh, the hours are terrible. And then, oh, the hours are terrible. You have no life. Or why can't I go back and you can do a little piece and perfect it rather than having to do everything every night. I mean, you can make a case for either side. It really is, you know, golf and tennis, if you will. Yeah. And I think, you know, one always after a while longs for the other because it's using the other muscles.
And you're looking great. You're determined to go on. Yes.
I'm determined to go on.
You're not going to retire.
No, actually, I live in Florida, and I was down there a few days ago, and I was standing there, and there's three ladies talking about bridge, and they were behind me, and they were a little older than I am, shall we say, and they recognized me, and they said, "Oh, it is you. Oh, we've admired you. It's just so great to see you here." And I said, "Yes, I live in Florida now," and the other one's face fell. She said, "You're not retired, are you?" Assuming that everyone who lived in Florida was retired.
The whole lot.
I said, no, not yet. I'm still here.
And we're in a political season at the moment, obviously. You played a First Lady. Do you think it would be fun, in the West Wing, obviously, do you think it would be fun to live the life of a First Lady, or would it be awful?
Well, not only do I not think it would be fun, I played a character who didn't find it at all fun. Right. So, you know, I think you really have to have an appetite for a certain kind of celebrity, which ironically, even I don't really have doing what I do for a living. So I guess you just learn how to do it. I mean, I'm sure it's a discipline, it's 24/7, and it's got to be worth it. It's a sacrifice, whoever does it.
You've got to somehow force yourself to like it, even if you don't.
Pretend. That's acting.
Yeah, maybe what we need as First Lady is an actress. Yeah. Maybe as a president. But but in terms of the future, do you go forward looking for a certain thing, or is it? You've talked about acting in a way, being an actress or an actor, as being slightly at the mercy of what happens to come through the post, as it were. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you were a director or if you were a stand-up comedian, you can make your own destiny, but you have to wait for the
I don't think we ever make our own destiny. I think we like to have the illusion of making our own destiny. And something interesting about being an actor, it really is like the human condition, because things do happen to you, and you do have to play it as it lays, if you will. And there's something that sort of grounds you about that. And I don't care what level you're at, that really is the way it goes. And for me, because I think it would be extremely difficult to be a mega star. I would not be comfortable doing it, because that life in the world we live in now is such a narrow frequency. But for what I do, I love the variety of what I do, and I'd hate to have to give that up. And that's something I would, you know, that's sort of my goal to hold on to, even if the winds come and try to buffer me in the other direction.
And Alan Carr said to you that you must never go out unless you're looking like a 10x8 glossy.
Yes. Well, this was quite a while ago. I think the fashions have changed, thank God. Yes, he did say that to me, and it was definitely a criticism of how I was looking when I walked out the front door.
Well, good luck with pal Joey. It's a joy to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's mutual.
Next, the return of the pirates. Is shipping safe on the high seas anymore? Find out after this short break.